It's the One Extra R&B show. It's your boy Ace, and on the line with me right now, very, very excited to have the winner of the 2023 Royal Rumble. Wow, the American Nightmare himself, Cody Rhodes. How you doing, sir?
Oh, well, when you say the winner of the 2023 Royal Rumble, I can't be anything other than spectacular. I'm feeling pretty good.
I mean, was this on the bucket list on when you returned to the WWE, winning the Royal Rumble?
I'd actually say yes. Yes. I was such a fan of the match, the Royal Rumble concept, and also I had been in a great deal of Rumbles, and I in a very marquee fashion had always pointed out to people, I've got these great Rumble stats. I was in there a really long time. I've got some eliminations under my belt. And then to be away for 6-7 years, people start catching up. So I'd say it was absolutely on the bucket list, but it's one of those that winning the Royal Rumble in sports entertainment and pro wrestling is a life-changing moment. It means you're going to the biggest thing that we have and you're going on last. And so with that in mind, as much as it was on the bucket list, I never expected how I would feel in the moment. I could never plan or anticipate that. And it's been such a whirlwind since.
You say you could never plan it, but I feel like that point, that gun salute to the WrestleMania side was something that you've wanted to do since you was like, that might be the best point ever. I got to put in regards to WrestleMania. This is my show. Did you have that in mind? Because I just felt like it was a great moment, a great piece of footage just to see you with the gun blowing the pistol and the WrestleMania fireworks. Talk to us about the ovation for that.
So I obviously you've caught me here in the sense that I did think enough about, the sign pointing has become it's a meme at this juncture, and I did think about what I would do, and I remember thinking, I don't want people to think that there's a missing chapter to the story. A huge part of why this return has been successful is because of what I learned when I was away, because of what I did when I was away. And I just kind of remember the two suites and the gun and the concept of, being part of the Bullet Club and all that meant, but also all the people that there were people who jumped on board, an independent audience that jumped on board with me when I left. And I could have really let them down because I had high hopes. I had made the list. I had went out and sought something that really a roadmap that hadn't been made. Now we've got guys, Matt Cardona has been on that roadmap for a minute now, and Moxley and Chris Jericho followed a similar roadmap, might even have done it better than me, but I can say that I was the first to do it. And I wanted to remind everybody that's a huge part of why we're here, and we can't forget it. And all the love in the world for those who followed it.
Respect you for that, man. I cannot wait for the lead up. I think Mania is one thing, and of course we can't wait till Mania, but I know the run up to Mania and the back and forth between yourself and Roman and the bloodline and maybe your family. Talk to us about what you envisage the run up to Mania looking like.
I spoke about Roman on Raw, and I spoke about him with a lot of respect. And obviously, you say like you can't take anything away from him, but I'll continue to give to him in a sense of what he has done. When the book is written on Roman, and you're looking at 800 and something days, and really the only comparable champion we're talking is Bruno Sammartino in terms of legacy and tenure. I don't know how long that respect will remain, only because the bloodline operates as a pack, and I have no pack. I have no pack with me. It's just me, and that I don't doubt that I'll probably be the butt of a mini joke, and I don't doubt that someone will try and make it personal, but all the way on the road to WrestleMania, I want to remind people just how much I do acknowledge what you've done, but that doesn't take away what I'm also acknowledging in terms of what I've done and what I plan to do. And one that I think would be really important to cross paths with is Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman and I have a very very large history that not everyone fully knows about. Some of the things that he did for my family, but also first day on the job at OVW, first interview I ever cut in wrestling was for Paul Heyman. And I want to make sure that when we stand across each other, he knows I'm not that kid anymore.
Right.
I am not that. All the things you said I might be, we're there. It's arrived. Destiny sometimes becomes inevitable. And that will be a special moment. Hopefully it goes well and jackets don't come off and things don't get tense. But as you know,
Yes,
it is
things can happen.
'tis pro wrestling and sports entertainment. But I'm ready. I probably should recruit some friends, considering the bloodline is so stacked. But we'll see how it goes.
I mean, I'm sure you've been asked this a lot, but I mean, are we likely to see your brother back in the WWE? I mean, you do need the backup. You've just said it, and it is a story. It's family versus family. I think it's the Rhodes family versus the bloodline. If we're really honest, you guys have very similar backgrounds and a very rich history of wrestling. Could we see your brother back in the WWE?
That's one of those where a couple of folks have asked that, and I thought, as they say it, I'm thinking, gosh, that sounds really special. I know Dustin and I have a different relationship than a lot of people think, but the closer I get, I can tell you this, the closer we get to WrestleMania, the more I think about him. Because I don't have, a lot of the story is made to be about dad, and that's true. And I do want people to acknowledge what he did and what I'm trying to accomplish as part of for him. But I miss my brother. And also, it's something that he wasn't able to get. And I mean that with all the respect in the world. He's had a wonderful career, but if I can't share it with my dad, it would be fun, even just to see him, even if it was just backstage. And I think something like that could work out. Again, I don't know, but the Rhodes family that people don't always see, that being my daughter, Liberty, it's very important, if she ever sits in on a wrestling show, I want her to see this one, win, lose, or draw, because it's so improbable how we got here. And I want her to know this happened. And a lot went into making it happen, but it happened. And of course, I can't, I'd be remiss if I didn't point out, I would not have come back in the shape I came back in. I would have not come back at the level that I feel like I am right now, had my wife essentially not said, you've got to get up. You've got to move forward. Everyone remembers the scene in Rocky where they're running on the beach. For me, the better scene is when Adrian pretty much calls Rocky on his BS right after.
Right.
And that is very much what happened between Brandy and I. The amount of sacrifices she's made so that I could go out there and live my dream, that's the number one for me. And that's the first person, if we ever get to that moment, those are the first eyes I want to see.
How frustrating was it for you to get injured so soon after you came back? And what was that time like in recovery?
I mean, frustration, no doubt, but the term that I think often is I was just really embarrassed.
Really?
Yeah, just because I'm now I have a totally different outlook on it. But back in the day when people would get hurt, I just think tape it up and go. Like this, it's wrestling.
Come on, yeah.
Right. And then you find yourself in a situation where half your body is missing. And I should have taken more care of myself in terms of training and preparation, because I probably tore it a little while competing, but then I tore it fully just being an idiot in the gym. And that was what was embarrassing. All this investment and money and the excitement. The main thing is the excitement that we had generated, and we connected to it in a completely different audience. Yeah, we brought some folks over from AEW, and yes, there's tons of people who followed my journey. But when I came to WWE, there was a completely different audience that said, I like this guy. This is my guy. And here I am. I felt like I had let him down. And I just wanted to get back as fast as possible. And there's so many people around me who kind of looked at me in that moment, Brandy being one, DDP being another, who said, okay, young buck, like, you've played it your way. Now you're going to have to do all these things I was telling you about taking care of your body, and that your body being your instrument. And the main lesson in all of that is you're not bulletproof. Right. You're not. Like, I've done this for a long time at a very consistent schedule. So it actually came at a great time for me to catch up, fix things, and enter the prime of my career at an optimum level.
That moment, I have to ask you, when that last match you had with Seth and you took the coat off and everybody could see your injury, like, what was it like? Could you hear an audible gasp? There was one in my house, but could you hear the audience? Because it looks so horrific.
I think I'll never not be able to hear him that moment. I've been there for some amazing returns and entrances and moments, others my own, where the place went through the roof, and then others where the boos and the anger were so loud and the heat filled the arena. This was a very different reaction. Like you said, it was a gasp. It was a, hand over the mouth, a moment. And I remember thinking, I'm just going to look straight ahead. I'm competing at the level as I want to compete, even if as if the pec was still there. But when that happened, I didn't want people to be scared for me. I wanted them to know, there's so much in one moment. I wanted them to know this is my choice. It's a dumb choice, but it is just the only way I see myself doing this. I get the opportunity to compete. I'm going to compete.
Right. You, as somebody that comes from such a rich wrestling family, and you obviously respect the business, but you've done it in your own way. You've broken the rules. You've left companies. You've tried to bring down companies. You've gone independent. Like, where does that come from? Especially having that foundation of what you should do and what you shouldn't do. Where does that kind of anarchist come from, Cody?
Yeah, kind of the disruptor.
Okay.
That's in me. I feel like disruptor is something I often think of. I think just, man, I don't know. I know one time, it was actually Vince. He said, "You're so much like your dad, and that you're a rebellious spirit. But you don't know you're a rebellious spirit. You do what you feel is right. And then looking in hindsight, you can make it sound great and wax poetic on it. But for me, sometimes things need to be disrupted. Sometimes cages need to be rattled. That's why we move forward as an industry. It's in me. Even in the happiest of moments, there's still something that I don't know is rather dark that's in there. And I always want to make sure that it's the right choice. Sometimes it's not the right choice for me, and sometimes it's not the right choice for the company I'm in, but sometimes it's the right choice for the fans.
Right. And are they always the priority? Are they always who you think of first in regards to making decisions?
I mean, the fans, to me, like, people have to remember, the fans aren't just fans who have helped kind of write my paychecks for over 10 years. They've helped write my life, because I ate and had a great house and a great childhood because of them, and their love and appreciation for what Dusty did. And I know when you're like, well, Dusty did this as well, it's symbiotic, but I will never escape this symbiosis. That's never gonna, wrestling fans, that's why if you ever catch anyone like talking negatively about them or using the term mark a bunch and stuff, I'm very quick to cut people off, because that's like talking about somebody in my family. Like, that's pump the brakes. These people take care of me, and they're not always, sometimes they love you and sometimes they hate you, but your job is to entertain them. Your job is to make them feel something. And you want to be the best at that.
We got to talk about it, man. Mania's coming up, yourself versus Roman Reigns. Now, I think a lot of wrestling fans have it written in the stars. You walk away with the title on that day. But I was in a stadium in Cardiff when we all thought the same thing about Drew McIntyre, and it didn't go his way on that night. So it could not go, it might not go that way. Who knows? I'm sure you want it to go a certain way, but how are you going to get this done, Cody? What is the plan going into Mania?
You mentioned Cardiff and you mentioned Drew. I'm watching at home. I think everyone felt the same sense.
The whole city, the whole country felt the same way. It was a lot.
Yeah. I think one of the sobering things about Roman Reigns is sometimes real life happens. right? You see it in sports all the time. Sometimes the better story is defeated by the better competitor. And I'm not specifically saying anything negative about Drew by any means, because it was as close as it could possibly get. And it, you know, maybe 5 times out of 10 could have gone the other way. I think I have to come into this not sweating the individual that is Roman Reigns, the God tier, the superstar. I think I have to come in this, and I can't just ride the emotions of Dusty's son, the title he never got. I can't ride those emotions. I have to just be the literal best, bell to bell, bell to bell. There are things that I do better than anyone when it comes to bell to bell. And I also think Roman has no idea the type of wrestler I am in the ring and the type of jaw I have, and just the type of punishment I don't mind. If you push me, I tend to push back, and that hopefully plays into my favor. You know, I don't know how much Roman, if he's a Floyd Mayweather type, where he's always perceived as the big bad guy, but in reality he's the most disciplined fighter there is in these fights. He might be one of those, but I just have to come in with more gas in the tank. I have to come in as disciplined as possible. And speaking of gas in the tank, I have to come in at a really low body fat, not to just get technical here. The longer this goes, the more it's in my favor. Roman's carrying more muscle mass. He's carrying more. And I don't want to give away my strategy here, but I wouldn't mind trying to get the guy to punch himself out. That Superman punch doesn't have the same effect if he's thrown it 4 or 5, 6 times.
We're looking at
now you got me thinking. But real life happens in terms of Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns happens, and I just don't want to be a casualty of that.
One final question. I remember you in a press conference after the last Mania. You was talking about just having this chip on your shoulder about Seth because he was one of Dusty's kids. Do you have the same feeling about Roman?
I feel the same way about all of them, but I've gotten a lot more. I feel like I've adjusted a lot more to it in terms of Roman, Seth, Jon Moxley, Becky, Bayley, Finn, Kevin, Sami Zayn. They all got this opportunity. More than that, they all got this opportunity to sit under the learning tree. And I wouldn't trade my experience as I got to be the son and I got that experience and they got to be groomed for the industry. But I was very jealous of it for a very long time. Very, very jealous. And now I look at it in a sense that my dad built these stars, and it's almost ironic that I need to beat them. He helped build these stars, and I need to beat them. I need to win. But very much adjusted to it. The chip on the shoulder is still there, trying to catch up to the Shield boys, no doubt. And to have such a good rivalry with Seth, I don't want another match. My God, I don't want another one. I can see one happening.
I mean, we had a moment at the Rumble. We got very excited.
Yeah, so, I mean, he lit me up too, and something just off the cuff. I couldn't. I think the Alamo Dome fully understood it, but I hope people fully understand. Logan Paul eliminating Seth Rollins is
crazy, huge,
is absolutely insane, and I feel like knowing how just unhinged that Seth can be. We're now entering a different. I can't wait to see that unfold. That will be one I could sit back and watch, you know, and see where that goes. But yeah, the chip will always be there. I've just gotten a lot more adjusted to it.
Cody, it's been an absolute pleasure, man. I can't wait to see you in Hollywood, lift those titles. We're definitely fully behind you, and hopefully we see you in the UK soon as well.
Oh, that's the plan. I've been gone for a long time. I need to get back. Thank you so much.
No problem, man. We'll see you soon, man. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ace.
And that was a great interview from DJ Ace to Cody Rhodes, the winner of the Royal Rumble 2023, that's going to go face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 39. And tickets for WrestleMania 39 at the Sophie Stadium on Saturday, April 1st, and Sunday, April 2nd, are now available from Ticketmaster.com. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Kickout. I go by the name of Skillet.
My name is Max.
Yo, this is Scan. How you doing?
Well, I'm all good, man. You just heard that exclusive interview from DJ Ace, obviously a member of the Kickout that we don't see no more, but we'll try and get him back out of the house. He had a great interview with the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. You know, he talked about him winning the Royal Rumble, as you just heard, and how he feels about going into WrestleMania. Let's talk about Cody Rhodes. He is the 2023 Royal Rumble winner. We had a review of that last week, and I think we all can agree that it was the right decision to make Cody the Royal Rumble winner. I think he's prime and ready for this spot. What do you guys think? Max, I'm looking at you because you're smiling. So
yeah, I mean, it was kind of told to us indirectly that this guy was gonna be the Rumble winner. So I think it will be silly if we're kind of in uproar that it is him. But what I will say is he's doing a really good job. It feels big time, like Raw feels big time now. We don't have a champion, like a top champion still on Raw, but every Cody segment feels like all that's missing is the belt on this guy's shoulder. Like it feels like someone important is on the show again, which makes for better viewing and stuff. Yeah, man, he's doing a good job. Everything he's saying is interesting. Things are moving along. Obviously, the last thing we had this past week with Sammy, I thought was excellent because this was the real, the test as to see are people gonna really take to Cody when the whole world kind of wants Sammy at this point. So, and I think they passed it with absolute flying colors. So yeah.
Well, let's talk about. You mentioned the segment. Let's talk about the segment we saw last week between Paul Heyman and Cody Rhodes. Scan. A lot of people were rioting. So many people that don't even watch wrestling shared this interview with me. That's how I know that this is one of the best promos they have done in a long time. It was a great segment. What did you think of this back and forth between Heyman and Cody Rhodes?
Bro, this was a masterclass, man. This is something that you show the youngins at the Performance Center. This is like, you love to see. This is like, Man City versus Liverpool in their prime. You got the two top guys, just slugging it out, man. And you love it, you love it. Like the fans appreciate it, and we were hanging on every single word. This is how you make a promo count. Like every single word of that promo. And it was like 17 minutes long, man. It takes you back to the days when like The Rock or Stone Cold would open up a Raw with like a 20-minute promo and it just be flawless. It was incredible, man. And then it just goes to show how much of a void there's been in the game when we don't, these are so rare. And it was phenomenal, man. And, it blurred the lines so well as well.
Well, Max always stands on the belief of great storytelling will always triumph over any superstar coming back from the past or whatever. And I think, Max, this promo would prove you right? It's the fact that we've been in this position before. We've seen this before where you book someone so great where the fans are going to rally behind him, but then you have this plan of making somebody else become the main event at Mania, and you think to yourself, okay, they're in a predicament here, what they're going to do. And then obviously in the past it hasn't worked, where the Daniel Bryan went on to main event and whatnot. But with this one, I feel that they've learned from that, Max, and they really showed, okay, this is how we can get the fans behind Cody being a main eventer.
Yeah, it's the intertwining stories that we have at the top level in WWE right now. It's incredible. Like all now, and I say all now, it has only really been like 2 weeks from the Rumble, but there isn't that reliance of Roman and Cody doing that face-to-face yet. No one's asking for it because they've been doing other bits and bobs to kind of push the story along, and the two guys involved haven't even met yet. Yeah. Now, that's bound to change post Elimination Chamber, and I suppose we're going to speak about that a bit later on. But there's just so much to cover here. Just that promo alone with Cody and Heyman, like of course backstage these guys kind of say, right, we'll have a promo, I'll touch these points, blah blah blah. But Heyman looked like he genuinely didn't expect him to start talking about Dusty going to ECW and the role Heyman played for that, and how he felt as a child observing that, and how grateful he was because it basically helped their family along. And Heyman looked genuinely touched, and I dare anyone to kind of find me another example where you're catching Paul Heyman out.
Exactly.
And he, being the expert he is, he still fell on his feet. It's not like he started stumbling or really blubbering or anything like that. He picked up because, okay, you got me. Yeah, now I'll continue. And, they made a great show in there. But, it's not often that you catch Paul Heyman off his game. And it just shows that, like Scan just said, the mixing of the reality, with what they're trying to portray in the ring. And you know, Triple H and Heyman probably have their hands all over this story and this booking.
And Cody too.
Oh yeah, of course, the guys
yeah.
involved as well. But
Yeah.
I mean, the minds behind it, like you just know, like, you know, these guys have been here, done that. We've been begging for these kind of people in this day and age to take the pen and deliver something like this, and we're now seeing, you know, WrestleMania is looking very interesting because of these guys behind it, like now. So yeah.
I love how Cody ended that promo with, you know, everybody wants to take things personal. You want to take things personally because I'm not here. I'm just here to win a match. And he goes, but that weekend I'm gonna take those belts off your boy personally. Like that for me was, I thought, don't get me wrong, you're right. Everything else was thrilling TV, and I was like at the edge of my seat throughout the whole promo. But I love the fact that that's how Cody ended it. It wasn't your typical, wasn't your typical, what you said this about my dad. My dad, you know, when Heyman said, you know, Paul Heyman, he wished Roman Reigns was his son, kind of thing. Great line, by the way. But it wasn't a thing where instant reaction Cody would knock out Heyman and get all angry. It's like, no, man, this is how some of these things happen in real life, especially when you look at boxing. People say really harsh things about each other, but they will settle it in the ring. And that's what it's all about. Great stuff. Let's just fast forward to SmackDown. The return of Jimmy Uso. Scam. What's your thoughts about Jimmy Uso coming back and how they've handled him and his return?
Boy, they're swerving us nicely, man. They're swerving us nicely because people, even up until the point where it was just Jay in the ring, we were still, and it was like, there's no Solo Sikoa. So then what's going to happen? You know, and they've got us, man. They've got us, and they know they've got us. But the fact that he came back like that, I thought it was brilliantly well done, man. Obviously, because those matches are predictable. You know they're going to retain the titles. But I think that was kind of like the first time he was like, okay, so how is my man going to defend both them belts against Ricochet? And like, it's, you know, smashed it.
Max, is this are we seeing something unprecedented right now with WWE writing? Are we seeing something for a long time where they booked at least up to 5-6 wrestlers as stars, all from one angle at one time? Because when you think about it, the way they've handled the Usos, they're bona fide stars. Like Jimmy and Jay are stars. And don't get me wrong, they were always, you know, known and people fan favorites. But I think that they've descended to another level. Reigns, with this head of the table angle, has ascended to, like I said, I mentioned it on the group chat after Royal Rumble. I said his star level has gone to another tier. You know, he's up there. And I could say he's up there now. He's up there with the likes of the greats now. You know, Cody Rhodes, somebody who had to go away to make himself a star, come back and be involved in this angle after hurting his shoulder or tearing his muscles. What was it? What did he tear again? His
pectoral
muscle.
Pectoral off the bone.
Off the bone. It's not getting a bad reaction at this. He's getting a really good reaction. Jesus, I'm just seeing stars right now. Is this for a company that's kind of not built stars in a long time, quote unquote? You know, there's always been stars, but you know what I mean.
It's taken these guys to another level, that's for sure. Like everyone that you've mentioned, even Sami Zayn
is the prime example.
Sami Zayn was loved. Roman was loved in this original heel iteration. When he turned, people like, finally, and he won, and the booking then was great. Obviously now it's just different level. Usos have always been top 1, top 2 in their division and loved. Even Solo Sikoa made waves in NXT very quickly to the point where they thought, right, we need to put him with these lot now. This is the no-brainer sort of thing. The guy's ready. Like, it's, I don't know, it's just everyone just rubbing off on each other, and to the point where, like, some people are asking for a Jey Uso main event run. They want to see him with a top title, or at least go for an IC title or something like that now. Like, Sammy, people are calling for him to be the one to beat Roman. Like, this is because of, exactly like you're saying, the great booking and stuff. The Cody Rhodes promo with Sami Zayn on Raw this past week was an absolute masterstroke. Like, I was one of the people dreading that they can't put these two in the ring together because the crowd are just going to finish Cody and pick Sammy. And not only did they put these two together in the ring on Monday, they put them together in the ring in New York one of the places that would have fried this whole thing alive if, they weren't having it. And they just booked it so smartly that the point, Cody was saying to Sammy, look, like Cody understands this is the guy that the crowd want, the fans want. So I'm not going to be, I won the Royal Rumble, so wait your turn. Like, no, have your turn. I want you to do well. But when you inevitably lose, obviously, I'm going to WrestleMania anyway. So
I love it.
It was like, the wording of it all was just so smart. Like, I'm going to go to WrestleMania regardless.
Yeah.
So I want you to do well and, meet me in the main event of WrestleMania. And I'm behind you sort of thing. Like, so it's not like one pitting one against the other. It was like, I'm going to see you there, and empowering Sammy. Like, it was just so smart the way it was done.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we'll get into the predictions, but I've got an idea of how I feel they will end it. But then again, with the writing they're doing recently, even my idea might be too predictable, and it might be like, no, we thought of that. People might think this is going to be like this. We'll do this instead. So you never know.
But you know the clever touches which you might not have clocked in on SmackDown, where my man said to the Usos, "Yeah, you stay at home for thingy," because the reason why he said that, because them guys can't come to Canada because of his DUI. So that's why they don't want them at
So they won't be involved. So they won't be involved in the match at all.
Yeah, and also because SmackDown's in Canada as well, and also the line about, you know what, it looks very different when you watch it at home than when you're in the arena. So basically, it's kind of telling Jay, you need to see the footage of your brother chatting to Sami Zayn and giving him the fist bump to see where he's at.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
and he's basically alluding that Roman's seen that because Roman's at home.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not there. I'm not backstage. I'm not with these wrestlers, but I'm just picturing every person that's involved in this story. And when I would say every, I'm talking from the Reigns down, Sammy to Cody to the Usos. I'm thinking they're all chipping in ideas and challenging stuff. No, that wouldn't make sense. In fact, we should do it like this. No. How would that make sense? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I think
that's the best thing about it. Yeah, because I know it's always been said Kevin Owens does that a lot.
Yeah,
if something doesn't make sense, Kevin Owens won't do it. He'll talk about it, and if they still make him go out and do it, he'll basically lambast the fact that this don't make sense.
He will say it on the mic. That's why he's always goes up on the mic. That's a good point. Okay, I'm loving this, man, and I'm Scan. The fact that you brought that up is just changed what my theory was going to be. So that's this. I'm looking, and this is more exciting now. Before we talk about Elimination Chamber, give our predictions. I want to talk about Seth Rollins and his Astro Boy boots. He's killing it, man. Like, if you talk about a wrestler that is like in tune on what's going on social media and all this stuff and all the nonsense that you see on the internet and just playing on it, I'm assuming Becky must have a hand in it as well with some ideas. But he's killing it. I didn't get to see the segment properly. I know he came out onto the Miz TV, and then he must have. Did he give Miz a curb stomp?
Curb stomp. Yeah.
And then Austin Theory hit him, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, anything else to noteworthy that happened on Raw before we
just on that? I think it's been said before that Becky's stylist styles Seth Rollins, and again, these are the things that wrestlers need to be doing, is to be the topic of discussion. Like, even on the fact of just a pop culture thing, that's probably made waves of wrestler wears these boots in the ring and
absolutely
his finishing move. You see what I mean? And
absolutely,
if you're chasing at least the main event or you're chasing to be topical, these are things you can do without having to be in the actual main event to still be on trend, if you like.
Yeah. And the thing is, the game's changed now, man, because he's going up against Logan Paul. You know, these guys know that the audience is outside of wrestling right now. So these guys are going for like everybody, the whole of social media. So it's the game's changed, man.
So has there been any because I know they had a segment, but are the other competitors that's involved in the Elimination Chamber United States match, were they involved in any of this segment that happened on Raw?
No, it's just Theory, man. Just Theory.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, interesting. All right, but let's talk about Elimination Chamber. Like we said, it's going to be in Montreal. It's this Saturday, isn't it?
Yeah.
This Saturday. Let's talk about the first match on the card I can see in the terms of matches that's on Wikipedia. Number one, they have Austin Theory defending his United States Championship against Seth freaking Rollins, Johnny Gargano, Bronson Reed, Damian Priest, and Montez Ford. I'm going to go to Mex first. Mex, how do you see this playing out?
I think there's a couple men in there that need to use this as a showcase to kind of, boost them. So obviously Bronson Reed, Johnny Gargano are just kind of returning to the company, so it's a good opportunity for them. What's this guy's name? Montez Ford. Like, if we're gonna get that kind of breakout star moment, this is a possible opportunity for it to happen. So there's a lot of opportunity here for him. Rollins. One or two things, in my opinion, will happen, and I'm maybe looking too far. But it's either Austin Theory retains, and then at WrestleMania, we get a US Championship Open Challenge, John Cena answers.
Right.
Or Rollins wins here. Rollins goes on to WrestleMania to fight to defend the US Championship against Logan Paul, and Logan Paul wins it at WrestleMania.
Ooh, that's very interesting. That's good 2 takes. And even if
I think it's one of those two.
I think your predictions are going to come true, but Austin will retain, and it'll be Austin and Cena with that angle, because Seth and Logan doesn't need a title. That could just be a.
It doesn't, but Logan and the eyeballs that are on him, bro. Like, during the Super Bowl, all the takes were all the takes that Logan Paul had in Super Bowl ads and stuff.
Shout out to Mex's misses in the back.
They were of him in WWE.
Yeah.
And WWE wouldn't have paid for that. It was all of his footage of Saudi Arabia stuff. Him jumping around and doing all kinds of things. Yeah. So imagine they just have him with the strap doing whatever else he does in the world, like with a WWE US title around him. Like,
that's a good point. And then you can see a Bad Bunny versus Logan for the US title in SummerSlam or something like that. You know what? I think
people will hate it because he's not pure wrestler, this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day, one is business, and two, after WrestleMania, we may have split the world championships. So there could be an actual proper champion on Raw by then.
Yeah. Scan, is this we didn't get to see a Montez Ford highlight reel at Royal Rumble. Could this be a Montez Ford highlight show at this United States Championship match?
It could be, man. I sense they're doing something with him. Man. But one thing I did want to say, especially about the Bronson Reed, how they're booking him on Raw, like, it's just like unbeatable, like final boss, like Bam Bam Bigelow, like tribute act. But like, I mean, see how they're gonna beat him, because the way Hunter's booking him, man, he don't want him to lose. So it might be a thing.
It's funny you said that about the Bam Bam Bigelow. That's his favorite wrestler, isn't it? Bronson Reed's favorite wrestler, Bam Bam Bigelow. Yeah. So, but I think that's a good thing, though. I think we need more beasts and more people who have undefeated streaks and more. Go on.
How did they? Because Otis was in Elimination Chamber maybe last year or so. Did they just throw him through the cage and then he just never came back instead of pinning him?
Yeah, I think he's eliminated because he went through the glass.
He went through the glass and fell outside, and I don't think he returned. Maybe he got counted out. Maybe that's what they'll do with Bronson Reed, something along those lines, so he don't look like he's getting pinned. If you see what I mean?
Yeah.
That could be a thing, man. Because I remember they did something like that with Lashley, isn't it? Lashley just got knocked out.
Yeah, Lashley got a headache and left the ring.
Yeah, that was madness.
Nonsense.
All right. So, Mex, you're saying two outcomes: either Austin wins or Seth wins.
My third.
Oh, you have a third?
My third is if one of them other men win, then at WrestleMania we're probably just getting a ladder match for the US Championship.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
that's a good call.
Scan, who do you got?
Oh man, I don't know how they're gonna book around Bronson Reed, man. That's the thing. But I'd love to see that personally. I'd love to see a shock Montez Ford win. I'd love to see it.
That'd be nice.
But I think smart booking is probably going to give like Theory a big win, because he hasn't had a big win as US champ before they take that strap off him, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Theory as well. I do like what Max said. I think the Logan Paul thing is a really good shout. But I'm gonna say Theory, because I think they need to focus and do some damage control with Theory after. I like that. Obviously, they gave him a new image and whatnot, but there were certain things that after Vince was fired that kind of not a lot of people took him serious. So I think this would be good for him. And obviously, he just lost. He lost his first WrestleMania against Kevin. Who did he have? It was against McAfee. He lost against McAfee in his first ever WrestleMania, so he needs a win going into this one.
They can make him look a credible challenger to Cena, man. So he needs this big win.
Yeah, he does. All right, let's talk about the women's Raw Championship Elimination Chamber match between Asuka, Liv Morgan, Nikki Cross, Raquel Rodriguez, Natalia, and the returning Carmella. Scan, who you got for this?
Man, Asuka needs to just bury all of them. And I think I have a feeling that's going to happen, man, because they've repackaged her and they've got her like on the way she battered everybody on Monday, they've got her on her next level right now. So that might be the look, man. I'm putting it all on Asuka.
Max?
Likewise, I think it was 2020 Elimination Chamber when Shayna Baszler entered the Elimination Chamber and she beat everybody in there. Like, she pinned and submitted every single woman in there and went on to Becky Lynch at WrestleMania, but didn't win. That's the kind of booking Asuka needs. If we want to really believe in this new iteration of her character, she just needs to do some real collateral damage like that. And hopefully that will as well scare Bianca, that this is my opponent at WrestleMania. Oh shit, like, how do I deal with this?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think I can see Asuka. I can see Liv as well. But yeah, the way Asuka's packaged, yeah, I think it's Asuka. So I think we're all gonna agree that it's Asuka going into WrestleMania and to face whoever, maybe Bianca Belair or because Charlotte's already facing Rhea Ripley, isn't she?
Rhea Ripley, yeah, it's gonna be Bianca, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Wait, hold on. Where's Bianca Belair? Why is she not in this?
Where is she? It's a number one contenders match.
Yeah. It says here for a wins women championship match. All right, yeah. Okay, good. All right, cool. Roman Reigns versus versus Sami Zayn. I mean, this is what they listed here as the number 3rd match. It's not listed as the last match. So Roman Reigns versus Sami Zayn for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship at Montreal. Who's gonna win this one? Max.
Roman Reigns is gonna bring out his best 2.9 kickouts, boy. But yeah, we're gonna see all of that. We're gonna see a spot where Sammy's got him dead to rights and pinned him, and the referee's dead outside or something like that. We're gonna see everything apart from obviously the Usos being involved because they're not gonna be there. So maybe Solo plays a part in this. Maybe we see Kevin Owens trying to help, or who knows. But yeah, I expect Roman Reigns to retain.
Scan?
Yeah, I have a sneaking suspicion, man. These lot are gonna go for they've got like it's perfect opportunity. They've got to go for the seismic pop, man. We need that visual Sami Zayn pin, confetti coming down from the sky, only to realize that Roman's foot was under the rope, and then they got to run it back. And it's just like, we need to see...
Oh, you think they should actually go that far before
they need to go that far? They need to have the visual of Sammy holding the belts, being announced as the winner. Then the second ref comes out and was like, no! Yeah, run it back. And then he's gutted, and then he gets the spear, and then that's it, man.
Do you think they will book Sammy so strong that he's got Reigns on the ropes that it will take Reigns beat him from via Montreal Screwjob? What you guys think?
It's been over 20 years, man. I think they should run it back. I think they can't miss an opportunity to get that pop, man. That crowd's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, okay. But we all in agreement that it's Roman Reigns coming out the winner, facing Cody for the titles, right?
Yeah.
It's gotta be. Like WWE will really do something like if Sammy wins, but like this close to Mania, I just don't see it happening. And with the where the story's going and stuff, nah.
Yeah. Okay. Next we got Edge and Beth Phoenix versus Judgment Day, Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley, Damian Priest and Dominic Mysterio will be at ringside. Scan, how do you think this is going to work out?
I think they got to be clever about this, man, because I think if the end game is that Hell in a Cell of Edge versus Demon Balor at Mania, then they've got to make like Edge and Beth look strong, man. They got to get a strong, because it's in Canada. They got to get that strong Canadian win, man. So that's my thing. That's what I reckon.
Max,
I agree. There's no way that Judgment Day shouldn't have 4 people involved in this match, 2 at ringside, 2 in the match, and still lose this match. But if the end goal is actually WrestleMania for maybe Edge versus Finn in whatever shape, they'll come in, then I think, the Grit couple need to win this, because they've been the ones that have been being overrun, looking hella lame for the past 6 months. So they need something back if we're going to still go to one more at WrestleMania.
Yeah, and plus there's a possibility there might be 3 of them, because I know Damian Priest is in the cell, is in the chamber, so he might get taken out. So it's just literally Dominic on the outside.
Yeah,
that's true.
Okay. And lastly, I didn't even get my prediction. I think this has to be a Judgment Day win. It has to be. I mean, Edge and Beth, you don't think it will be?
It should definitely be a Judgment Day, but I don't think it will be. No.
I'm gonna say Judgment Day win, with some sort of shenanigans where they do something really horrific to Beth Phoenix or something that leads into WrestleMania. So they put Beth Phoenix on the shelf, or maybe she might face someone, but then again, Rhea Ripley's facing Charlotte. So where did you know what I mean?
But one quick thing: do you think that what might end the feud is that Edge might put his career on the line at Mania?
Like that, and to who? To Dominic?
No. Edge versus Finn in the Hell in a Cell.
Be good for Finn. That'd be good for Finn, but I don't. Max, what do you think about their how they see Finn now? They don't seem like they used to, do they? They don't seem like a.
They don't, but at the same time, if he's the guy that out of anyone that they see in the highest position, and
100%.
Let's not Finn hasn't really achieved as much as he probably would have liked, but as well, Finn is 40 plus at this point as well. So he is gradually beginning to wind down as well. So I think Edge, on the Edge conversation, I think he's probably waiting until he gets back around to Toronto, WWE get back around to Toronto to hang up his boots, have his final match there before he starts calling it a day. But he might, you never know, because I believe he's filming stuff at the minute. So that might be, getting wrestling out of the way to just concentrate on the acting stuff might be a plan as well.
You know what? I think you guys are right. I think Edge and Beth is going to win, and then we'll find out who Edge opponent is going to be at Mania, and it'll probably be a big star, somebody that's in the roster now that's probably up and coming. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head though, but he will have.
I think it's Balor. I think Scan's right.
So you're probably thinking Balor. Okay. Yeah. You'll probably just be that.
Retiring, man.
And then Balor gets the win. It won't retire him, but Balor will get the win at Mania, which is going to be another.
I would love Balor to retire him
on Balor's cap. I think Mex is right. I think Edge will retire at his home, like Trish did. Even though Edge has retired many times already, and then Finn will get the nod at Mania. All right, let's talk about the main event. Well, it's not. I don't know if it's technically the main event at the night. I think they should wait till Reigns and Sami become the main event, to be honest. But what's on Wikipedia as the last match? The two Titans, Bobby Lashley, Brock Lesnar, go at it at Elimination Chamber. Max, who you got for this, man?
I don't think we're getting this match. I think this is Fugazi. I think these guys are going to scrap, break some barriers, this, that, and the other. And this is probably my Hell in a Cell match at Mania.
Man said Fugazi and that.
I don't think it's real.
I think you're actually right. Scan, go ahead. What do you think? You think Mick is
Ooh,
right?
I didn't see that swerve coming, man. For me, let me go the other way then. I reckon it's not gonna be a long match. I think we're gonna see the formation of the Hurt Business, and they're just gonna obliterate Lesnar, man. And that's not gonna end the feuds. I think we're gonna get one more at Mania.
Well, then that means what you just said, Scan. What you just said, Scan, could actually mean that you're both right. It could be a smash where the matches just get ding 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 called off because Her Business has attacked him on the way down and put him through a table. That'd be a good way to end it. That'd be a nice little. But who do you think the Her Business should be the same cast? Because I stress they need new members. They need new cast members. They need. Some would say the Street Profits. Some will say my man from NXT. What's his name again? You know,
Carmelo Hayes.
Carmelo Hayes, who I think is a bright star.
Carmelo Hayes, yeah.
And maybe have almost as muscle with maybe an additional Shelton, Cedric. I would probably replace Shelton and Cedric, but if you got to keep the original, then have additional people like Omos, Carmelo Hayes, and Street Profits.
Right, I'd love to see that, man. I love a female in there as well. You know, just one half of the Street Profits, maybe Dawkins.
Yeah, Dawkins would be good. Yeah, because maybe not the whole tandem, because maybe they'll do something different with Montez. Yeah, Dawkins would be a good shout. And if it's not Solo, going back to Reigns and Sammy, if it's not Solo costing Sammy anything in that match, could it be Naomi? Could we see that? Nah.
Ooh. Naomi returning and pledging her allegiance to the bloodline. Let's have it. I'm for it.
That'd be great. The only issue with that is you would want to do that with the payoff of reconfirming that Jimmy's her husband. You understand what I mean? Not to like obviously we know, but just to have that, because some people might be like, why is Naomi interfering? And then not know that she's actually married to Jimmy. I know it's silly to say that. But I can see,
you're right.
Yeah, I can see them being like, no. If we're doing this, it needs to be like make sense that she's gonna kiss her man, and so maybe it's not her. Maybe it's the case of what you just said. But anyway, regardless of that, it's gonna be exciting. I am looking forward to it. I'm loving the fact that AEW has forced WWE to do pay-per-views on Saturdays, so I could watch this, stay up to watch it, and have a nice rest the next day. Doesn't bother me. So we will be back. We'll be back with more Kickout. We'll be doing a review on Elimination Chamber next week. Mex and Scan, this was like a last minute get together to do this. So thank you both of you for joining. And I hope you guys enjoy Elimination Chamber on Saturday. And we'll talk more wrestling very, very soon. We're out.
Peace.
Thanks for that, guys. Appreciate that, man. I'm gonna edit this tonight and hopefully put it up first thing in the morning. All right, guys.
All good, bro.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Take care.
Love. Have a good one. Take care, guys. Peace.